Hi everyone, this is very exciting because this is officially the first day of this cohort. Ta-ta! So yeah, and as you know, we were just saying, in this cohort we have people joining us from everywhere in the world, which is really cool, but it's also very challenging to organize an event, live event, and a synchronous event, because we have people from, I think, Thailand, Hong Kong, Kuwait, I mean, lots of different places. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. And this video is going to be recorded and be available on TeacherWith, very soon, shortly after the meeting. So no worries if you're still sleeping or if you're still doing something else and if you cannot be with us today. So it's my pleasure to be today co-hosting this event with Robin Kane, who is the Assistant Director for Professional Learning, I guess. I'm always bad with titles, sorry, Robin. And at Harvard, and also Kemi, who is a communications specialist at International Comprehensive. So welcome, everyone.
Thanks. It's great to see everyone, and it's great that everyone's participating in different ways, and I'm glad it'll be recorded so we can share the information with people, and like you said, all over the different time zones. Would you like me to just get started with sharing my screen?
Yes, please.
Perfect. All right, so I have a short deck here to share with everyone. I'll just go over the agenda really quickly. We've already done introductions, so we're going to start with an overview of TeacherWith and Canvas, the two platforms that you'll be interacting with. And then I'll be doing a brief overview of the XANTS initiative, which CEEL is under, and then an overview of the certificate program itself, so the features, and I'm actually going to open up a module and we're going to look through some of the features. So when you get in there, you'll sort of be familiar with how to navigate around. And then we'll have lots of time for questions. So questions that any participants that join might have, or we can go over some of the standard questions that people usually ask. So let's get started. So I'm going to pop right to this slide. So the CEEL XANTS Early Education Initiative is housed here at the Harvard Graduate School of Education. And our initiative consists of 4 different sort of quadrants of work. The first one is the Professional Learning Academy, and this is what our CEEL program falls under. So we're strengthening the field of early education through professional learning. We have online courses, which CEEL is one of. We also have on-campus programs and other online institutes that are shorter than CEEL with different topics. Then we have our communications and policy work. So we're trying to inform policymakers and lawmakers who are influencing environments that children and families are in every day with teachers, and trying to inform that work with the research that is emerging. We have our XANTS Fellows program, which is their master's level students that interact with the XANTS initiative during their coursework for their master's program. So during the year, we meet with them and we have co-curricular activities. And when they graduate, they stay part of our cohort. And then the early learning study at Harvard, which is our longitudinal study and really looking at the kind of research that is going to drive the action in the Professional Learning Academy, and making sure that those decisions are based in research. So those are the cornerstones of the XANTS initiative. And then I'll just talk very briefly about the model that we use, which is a growth and practice model. And we feel very strongly that, as you all probably know, that in order to build the kinds of competencies and capacities that we need as early educators and leaders, our learning really needs to be based in the work that we do. So we take this program, which is sustained over a period of time. So the modules last over this period of 18 months. We use case-based learning. So we have actual scenarios for people to learn from and engage with. And then we wanted to make sure that the learning was not just based on, sort of the standards of regulation, but really go even deeper than that. And we want it all to be in the service of enhancing these capacities and core competencies that we need as leaders in order to lead to better outcomes for kids. So that's just sort of the model that we use. And then because we know that we're teaching adults, we have this cycle of learning that we introduce core knowledge, and then we provide tools and strategies. And you'll see lots of this in CEEL. You'll see that we provide actual strategies to use or actual templates to use or tools to use. And then we give you a chance to apply that in the plan and apply, and then try it out, and then go back and learn. And so we go through this whole cycle because we know that those are the cornerstones of adult learning. So this is just a slide to show you how the certificate sort of holds together in the 3 different series. So they're all obviously connected with leadership in mind and early education in mind. But the first series is leading for early learning and development. The second is we're sort of rethinking leadership in early education. This is the one that for me as an early education leader was really sort of the gap in my knowledge as a director. I was a director for 20 years. And so some of the leadership tactics and knowledge and research was not something that I was ever provided with in my sort of training as a early education director. And so I really got a lot out of this middle series. And then the third one is supporting your staff through optimum teaching and learning environments. So really a more on the ground lens and thinking about what your role is as a leader and how you can support the adults that you lead. So those are the 3 series. I wanted to let you know that obviously, I know that we have a large international audience, a very large US-based audience as well. CEEL is in 92 countries right now. We have participants from all 50 states, 2,000 early education leaders to date. So this is all just to say that the network of leaders is growing, and we love that people who are learning in cohorts like you all will have like this shared language of things. So when you're discussing things like quality, for instance, so we all know what like quality in early education is, but because we use that word so much, it becomes like a buzzword that we're not sure we're all talking about quality in the same way. So it's really nice to have a program like CEEL in a single cohort where people can have discussions and sort of think through the topics that you're discussing in a way and have like this shared language. So you have this way of discussing them and you're all kind of on the same page. So it's sort of an exciting movement. And so throughout our time with CEEL, we've learned a few things about effective professional development. And we've actually been talking a lot with our CEEL cohorts that have just graduated. So we've had a few cohorts graduate. We actually recently had them on campus here for a graduation ceremony, which was really exciting. And we're surveying people and interviewing people all the time to see, what is it about professional learning? What specific components worked best for you? Like what is important to you? What has changed your practice? And, these are the things that we've learned, that we need professional learning that is relevant to the daily challenges that we're facing in our classrooms and in our centers with families and with our teachers. So it needs to be, specific to the unique challenges that we face. And then they really like that they're being engaged in a cohort of peers. So like you all are engaging in your own cohort, but you'll also be part of this larger cohort. And learning from people in very similar roles and also slightly different roles across the world, which our past cohorts have said has been like a huge part of their learning. And then we've learned that our participants want to be provided with a structured learning process. So like something that they can go through again and again, so that we're helping them look and solve at the problems that are happening in their sites right now. But when CEEL is gone and that facilitation is over, that they can actually come back to this very structured process and use it again and again to solve their other challenges that will come up when they're done with CEEL. So I'll talk a little bit more about how these things are showing up in the module. So here's the CEEL delivery sort of, it's just a graphic that I wanted to show you that shows how the modules are structured. So you'll engage in series 1 starting today. You'll open up module A and you'll be taking these. Because you're in a cohort, some people that are engaging individually can take a single module, but our cohorts take them in order together. So you'll be taking A, B, C, and D. They're 3 weeks each with a little buffer in between, and then you'll take your plan and apply. And so the modules, as you know, are 3 weeks in length. And then the plan and apply is an extra week because there's a little bit more individual facilitation. You'll be actually building a plan around some of the learning and uploading it to your facilitator, and you'll be getting feedback on that plan. So the plan and apply module is a little bit longer to allow for that structured facilitation. So these are the modules. You may have looked through all of the titles already, but just again, just to show you the way that they're sort of packaged into these series. They are all interconnected, so you will see and hear themes that come up all the time. You will hear some, like I said, some of the shared language, the way that we talk about some of the topics. You'll hear it throughout, but basically each of these are the modules that you'll see in each series. So we're going to start out with the science of early learning. In this series, we're going to next do leading adults for quality improvement, then stress, adversity and trauma, and then strong relationships and interactions. And after a little break, you'll do your plan and apply module, and then we'll head into series 2 and then into series 3. And these are just the dates of when each of the series starts. So obviously we're starting series 1, and that's just beginning. And then we will sort of continue on until we come to March, and we'll start series 2, and then we'll begin series 3 next summer in August, and then you'll finish. So I am going to open up a module so you can see it, but here are some of the features that we'll be looking at. So all of the CEEL modules have video lectures. So you'll see our faculty directors, Noni Lasso and Stephanie Jones, deliver lectures in these videos. And the reason why they're pre-recorded is exactly for the reason why people, obviously can't show up today, because all of our CEEL participants are all over the world and everyone's in a different time zone. So it's really great because it's kind of this mixed delivery model where you can watch the videos and do the readings and do your practice on your own time, but then you'll come together at a very sort of structured with flexibility schedule so that you can talk with your cohort, and you'll be hopping on discussion boards with other people in your facilitated learning groups, and you'll be able to talk about what you're learning. So you're not alone in the learning, which I think is helpful in just sort of understanding your experience and understanding other people's experience and how they're sort of taking up the learning. So you'll see case studies, you'll see lectures, you'll see little vignettes, and then you'll have some check for understandings. So before I dive into showing you a module, I thought maybe we could, does anybody, or do you, Keith, have a question? You can hop off mute and ask any question you might have.
Yeah, I do just have one, and that's, I did wake up at 4:30 to be here, a.m. Hong Kong, and it's kind of close to my wake up time anyway. But I'm just wondering, in terms of the cohort and thing like that, I'm kind of hoping that there might be some people in my time zone to connect with. Is that, I wonder if that's going to happen, or if that's facilitated in some way.
Yes, I'm pretty sure we have people in your time zone. What we will do, I'm sure you have two things. So you have the Harvard platform on Canva when you do, you know, when you find the materials and interact, etc. So you can use the discussion board maybe, but we also have the community on TeacherWit, which is more for, like, I would say, informal chat and reaching out to maybe a bigger community as well, because we have about 2,100, you know, educators from everywhere. And so I'm pretty sure you will be able to find, you know, people in your time zone in the cohort and even beyond if you want on TeacherWit to, you know, to exchange and talk. But what I, you know, I just put a little activity to introduce, you know, so that people can introduce themselves on TeacherWit 2 days ago. So I did myself so that, you know, just to demonstrate, but I feel like if everyone could do that, you know, just introduce themselves in a very simple way, that would be very helpful as well to see exactly, you know, who's there and who's available.
Yeah, I think I saw at one point at least 100 people somewhere in the world signed up. So that's okay, great, thank you. And I'll get on that. We started school this week, so.
Oh, you do, okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'll get on it. Thank you.
Yes, I used to be in Guangzhou, so I used to live in Guangzhou, so not far away. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll also add to that we have participants, you know, engaging in a number of ways outside of even those two things. So on Canvas, you'll work with a group of 25, and there may or may not be people in or around your time zone in that group. But in the bigger sort of CEEL community and in the TeacherWit community, we've had people sort of make those personal connections. You'll have each other's emails or ways to contact one another. And they set up, they've actually have set up discussion groups like live on Zoom, so they can talk to one another about the learning or go through, you know, they like to share oftentimes like what it means like for their particular role or their particular setting, because, you know, contextually, depending on what geographic area you're in, it might be a little bit different. So anyway, you can also, you know, advocate for having your own group and, you know, meet semi-regularly over Zoom too.
And I'm just checking right now, Keith, and I can tell you that there are 2 more people from Hong Kong in your cohort. Right. And 2 from Thailand, 1 in Singapore. So yeah, definitely. So, yeah, and 1 in Malaysia as well. So
okay, great.
that should work out fine.
Good, great. Well, I'm going to show you the module. Sorry. And then have you been in it yet, Keith, or not?
I really have not, no. So this will be great.
It might drop at midnight today. Or I don't know if it's 12 a.m. or it was or it's midnight tonight. I can't remember. But let me just find. Yeah. Okay. So here is what it will look like. Let me just go home. So this is just a random, it's series 2 Learn B. So it's the second module in series 2. So it's that leadership focused module. So when you come in, this is the home page. You'll see that it's broken up into these sections. There's an orientation in every module, and then you'll just sort of walk through each of these sections, and each one will have a case study and a wrap-up section. So let's just jump in just so you know what to expect. So this will introduce you to all of your first tasks. You can watch a little introduction video. Obviously, each module, you won't have to watch each one, but this is just in the beginning so that you sort of have a sense of what to expect, and it just sort of sets you up well for the learning. And then you can either navigate down the bottom. You'll see like there's a next button right here. So you can go just like to the next section, or you can go to the beginning and go back to the modules and click in through there. So I did want to point out, so here's the recommended schedule for this particular, ignore the dates because yours will be different, but this sort of helps you loosely plan your time for those 3 weeks. So the beauty is that, you know, say it's the first day of school, like it is for Keith, you're not necessarily going to do your orientation today. You can do it tomorrow, or you can even do it Wednesday, right? And then you'll catch up. You might watch, you know, you might have a chunk of time where you have 2 hours. Somebody else may want to just log on and for every 15 minutes every day. Like there's a lot of flexibility in how you want to and can engage, because almost everybody is a working professional. So you'll have the date of your module here, and then the day. So if there's about 18 days in this module. And so it just kind of gives you a chart so you can somewhat stay on target with where you kind of should be on those days. And you can see there's a range. So like days 2 through 4, you'll want to do this, 5 through 8. So you have flexibility. But the reason why we do that is you want to be discussing these sections, these topics with your cohort around the same time. Now you can still post on day 15 about section 2, but everybody else will probably have moved on. And so a lot of people might not respond to your post. It just won't be like as fun. So we just give you this schedule so you can kind of stay on track with everyone else. But if 2 weeks go by and you're sick and you need to catch up, you can certainly do everything the last week and just like hop on and do those discussions, and maybe somebody else will be in your shoes too. So you can introduce yourself in the first module to your colleagues, which is really important. You will get to know each other very well. So it's nice to do that. And so this is just the next thing. This is how you will do the discussion board. So there's great directions here. You can see here that the discussion groups and your facilitator is named. So if you've ever used Canvas before, you'll just like go into your own discussion group. But if you want to discuss with like the entire cohort, you can go in and do that too. But if you're not familiar with Canvas, it does walk you through, and there's a little tutorial too, so you don't have to worry. So then you go right into your section. Right at the beginning here, you will see that it again lays everything out for you. So you'll watch the faculty do a video. You'll do a little check for understanding to make sure this makes sense to me. You can go back if something doesn't make sense to you. There'll be something to read. There'll be some resources, another check for understanding. And then you'll have a activity where you're thinking together and you're talking on the discussion board. You'll be filling out your learning journal. So, and this is basically the structure of your modules. So you'll get to know this sort of cadence, and it'll become very familiar to you. So this is where you'll like click on your readings. So one thing that I will mention is that each module takes about 10 hours. So in the next 3 weeks, you'll plan to spend about 10 hours of your time. But we have had people that have done it in 7, and that's fine. And we also have people that literally will download every reading and take a deep dive in the content, and it may take them 15 or 20 hours. So it's really, and maybe some modules will be more familiar to you and it will take less time, and others, like for me, it'll be a real resource for you, and it'll be new information and new research, and you'll really want to spend time going into it. So you have that flexibility. We provide additional resources that you can do. Your check for understanding will look like this. It'll be sort of a little quiz for you to take. And then you'll be doing a learning journal. And a couple of reasons why you do want to engage in your learning journal is it's a lot of content, and you will have access to it for a few months after the module ends, but you'll be surprised like how much you might forget. So keeping your learning journal will help you go back and remember the things that you want to implement at your setting. It'll help you remember like what readings you want to go back to or what was particularly useful for you. And there's another reason. If you happen to be taking these modules for CEUs, which you can do for free, which is a great benefit, you'll be using these learning journals when you go to complete your final sort of assessment project. So, and it's not long, but you will want to remember sort of some of the content. So that's another reason for doing it. So basically, this is what it looks like. If you look over here in the left-hand column, over here where the pointer is, this is where you'll find all of the modules, any announcements that are made. You also get an email about it. And then this is where you, Keith, might want to look student location. So it'll tell you where people are from in your cohort, extra resources, and then your discussion board right here, your people where you can email people. And then let's see, I think that's about it. I think that's all. Any questions about this, the Canvas site, or how you'll get into it, or navigating around Canvas?
No, it looks pretty straightforward. Thank you.
Great. If you do have any questions and you're watching this video after the fact, when you're watching it on your own time, and you do have a question about Canvas, so there's a couple of things you can do. There's a support right on that left-hand column. It'll say support or help, and you can click that and you can reach anybody that, if you're having technical problems. If you have any questions or problems understanding, or just you need some clarification on the content, you can ask your facilitator, and you can also reach out to me. So I'm not sure. I guess I can put my contact information in the chat, but I'm not sure. Will that?
Oh, don't worry. I can also put it on TeacherWit as
Okay.
well for everyone. No
Great.
worries.
Great. So you can always contact me. I will act as sort of your liaison. So Stefan, you can talk to them more about, like, if I don't know if you're going to be having cohorts or meetings or anything in the meantime, but I can be sort of a liaison between also sort of the content and the program, and then Stefan. So either one of us you can reach out to.
Absolutely. And maybe I could share with you a little bit about TeacherWit to go after that. So the idea is that everything that is about your learning, you have to go on Canva, and that's where the learning is happening. That's where you can talk about the content. You can have discussions, submit whatever you are creating, or share your thinking and your understanding. TeacherWit, it's a little bit different. Through this collaboration, International Comprehensive and TeacherWit, we provide you with like a more personalized support. So for example, if you have any question about your registration, if you're unsure about certain things, we are here to support you. And we are in constant contact with Robin and their team as well, so we can help you if you have specific questions about whatever it is, the program. But we also want you to have a more informal way as well to interact and build community with other educators. So that's why we decided to have this group on TeacherWit, so that you can see the different members of the of the cohort. You can directly contact someone. You can follow one another. You can even organize live videos, chats, share resources in a very easy way. Everybody is welcome to post here. You can just click here, post something, share an article, share a video, share anything you want. It can be very informal. It can be just for fun. It can be anything. It's your space. It's your community. It's your micro community and space. So that's why I put, for example, this little ice-breaking thing 2 days ago. So that's the goal. And the goal is also, so this is a private space, right? This one, the Harvard certificate, but you are part as well of a global community here, and feel free to take advantage of that. It's free. There are a lot of people from everywhere teaching all sorts of things, different grade levels, different roles, and we have authors as well. We have people like that. So it's quite interesting to maybe interact with them as well, and go beyond CEEL if or it can be, you can use it as you want, but it's there, it's for you. So you're welcome to use all these tools, and you can contact us directly through that if you have any problem, because Camille, who is here, our communication specialist, she's here in the group. Oops, right here. And I am also in the group here with you guys. So just click on our names and send us a message if you need anything. Okay.
Great. Well, I think I've tried to cover everything. Let me see if there's any questions that people generally ask. Yeah, I
We
think,
also have FAQ if, in case people have any, it's on our website, it's on Harvard's website, but we will add, maybe a more a comprehensive FAQ on TeacherWit as well.
mhm.
Can I ask a question just about the teacher wit. So the Harvard certificate group, is that current and past members as well? So is that a growing group or is that just current members?
It's a growing group, but it's the current members. What I mean is that you're the first cohort, going through that process with us, through us. So you're the very first ones, but we absolutely want to involve, more and more people who are doing CEEL, and we hope to have a lot more starting in March as well for the next cohort. And so yes, yeah, it's a small cohort right now, but it's going to grow.
Mhm.
Great.
I just wanted to mention, because I see it in the FAQ too, that we are a partnership with this, in this program where we're, CEEL is its own, separate program, but we're actually, working together to bring it to you. But the certificate itself is, you will get your certificate at the end when you complete, and that will come directly from Harvard. And you will get a printed, a paper version of that in the mail. And we haven't really discussed yet, because this is such an international cohort, how we'll handle graduation. It might be a virtual event. But anyway, yes, so you will, just so you know, that will come from Harvard.
We all have to make it through first, right?
Yeah, you'll make it
Yes.
through.
Yeah, and we'll organize regularly, regularly some meetings like these, just to catch up, just to see if everybody's fine, and so we'll keep you posted, and we'll support you all along the way.
Mhm.
We won't do your assessment though.
No, that's for you. Yeah, but it might be nice to get back together after the first series and, see if people have questions or how things are going. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, and may I ask too, just so the check for understanding, is that something that, if you biff it all, it will get back to you, and it's self-assessment, right? That you can then use to.
Exactly. Yeah. So the idea is more that, like, you understand, not to be punitive. And if you don't, then it will ask you to look at it again, or give you some more information so that you can go back and understand it. Yeah. And you can always facilitate. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. The only
Good
thing
question.
that I would say is the thing that will be the most sort of intensive, your learning journal can be however intense you want it to be, but just the three plan and apply modules, you'll be creating a plan for your setting, and that we get feedback on that being the most helpful, because it actually gives you that opportunity to practice. So say you learn something about creating an environment of psychological safety, and how you might strategies for doing that in a staff meeting. And then you say, okay, this is the one thing that I want to try. You plot out your plan and you work with your facilitator, and then you try it out, so people really find that plan and apply module is very helpful, because we're really adamant that we don't just drop all this information on people and leave. We all know that's not helpful. That's the kind of professional development I always had as an education, early education leader. And it was not helpful, because as soon as I hit a challenge, I wasn't able to problem solve on my own. I didn't know how to make it work in my context, and it just sat on the shelf. So we're really adamant that we provide the support to people as they're implementing, as they're trying out the learning. If they hit a roadblock, that there's someone there for them to go to. So after 3 of these sort of iterations of practices, we're hoping that you'll be ready to face any challenge.
Yeah, no, and this is awesome. I really love this plan and apply.
Yeah.
thing. I think it's extremely useful. And I had a question about that, because about the journal actually, because I'm a big fan of having a professional portfolio, you know, for educators. I think it's extremely valuable. And I was just wondering, do you know, Robin, if they can then export their journal into a different format, or because maybe some of them already have some kind of professional portfolio and they would like maybe to use that too.
I believe they can download it, but I'll double check for you. But yes, I think that is a feature.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you know though.
People might want to also just kind of do it in their own thing and then upload it to the.
Upload it into, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have it for both.
Yeah, exactly. I know that one of the features that we're hoping to do in the future is exactly that, is to be able to create an online digital portfolio as you're doing your learning journal, and collect other things that are, you know, interesting to you, pieces of information, but also maybe templates that you now have created. Like we give everything in Word, so you can create your own, you can use it in a way that makes sense for your setting. And so to be able to save that like all in one place would be great. There are a lot of, I'm sure you know, Stefan, the barriers and challenges to those kinds
of. Of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. And as mentioned, you can also use the teacher with, you know, space to share all sort of videos and articles and stuff. And that could be like a collective portfolio, sort of. If you want to, you can also use it this way.
Yeah.
Mm.
Definitely learning from other leaders is so helpful. Like, why reinvent the wheel? If somebody has a great idea of how they have solved one of your challenges, like that is absolutely, we've all been to conferences and learned a lot from the speakers, but learned as much from our colleagues.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. Okay, well, is there anything else that we need to cover, or do you still have any questions for us, Keith, or no?
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. To feel a little more oriented to what we're doing here over the next few weeks and months and year and a half.
18 months, yeah.
Yeah. Well, good luck with the beginning of the school year in Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's exciting. At the same time of year.
Yes. Yeah. And thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, Robin, for this clear, you know, intro. I'm sure it will help a lot everyone to have a good start, you know, with this the first module. So yeah.
And
thank you. And
on the discussion board, I'll see you there. And yeah, we'll meet again.
Great.
Absolutely. Bye. All right. Enjoy this learning journey, everybody. And yeah, let's keep in touch.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.